And welcome back to another video.
Yeah, another casual, or I think probably our last casual for now.
Yeah, last casual, I think, or third one.
So this is, again, Anthony and I playing ourselves, we're commenting on our own plays.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get revenge. The last video was a Reanimator versus Shops, and I got absolutely bent over, spanked. So I'm going to try to get some revenge here, let's see what happens.
Yeah, so let's go into the deck tech.
Okay, so this is my version of a counterburn with troll, but really, like, why it's called LauTroll, or why I'm calling it that, is because I really think in the one-strip format that the Lauter deck is, which is like a blue-white skies with a very small splash for black of Mind Twisted Demonic. I really think in the one-strip format that that's the best deck. Again, we're gonna exclude Twiddle Vault. Like, I think this is like a tier 0. So that combo deck out of the way, I think the Lauter deck is the best in the one-strip format. And I've played with it. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Well, one-strip Swedish, though.
Oh, sure. Okay, fine. Sure.
Because Atlantic is also one-strip.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. But the idea being is that I played a lot with it, and I also really love Troll. So I just wanted to merge those two things together. So I took the basis of the counter spells and the Psy Blasts and the power sinks and everything, and I just took the white cards out and I replaced it with red and the trolls. So it's basically the exact same deck as Lauter, just no white, but red for troll and some burn to try to be more aggressive. So notably, there's no Hymn to Torak, which I think a lot of people like to play with their trolls, and there's also no Nevinyr's Disc, which like most likely I would put in instead of probably the Earthquakes or the Power Sinks.
But then I think that becomes like a disco troll.
Yeah, and then it becomes...
It's no longer a Lauter influence type deck.
So I'm happier to keep it like this. At the end of the day, like, it's still counterburn and it's still troll. Earthquakes and trolls amazing together. Like, I love it. The earthquakes don't hit my other creatures also, which is just synergy in my opinion. So very aggressive burn. 3 Psy Blasts. I'm a big fan of that card.
Great card. Yeah, exactly.
There is a question to play the other mocks in. Like, the Lauter deck does play all 5 mocks, and I'm not playing all 5 mocks here. And also those factories are questionable. It's also possible that they're better off being under 2 underground seas or another city, but I really like to put the concept of damage. So we'll see what happens.
And here, once again, we have the Burning Shops deck.
Yeah, the same shops as the last video.
Same shops as the last video. As we saw, this deck is just absolutely, threat after threat.
Yeah.
Kind of just, burn spells, creatures, copies. It
wants to do one thing, and it does that thing.
It does that, yeah, exactly.
There's no hiccups. It does that thing.
Exactly, it does that thing. Going a little deeper into the sideboard, I just felt like the Triskelion, not Triskelion, but the Tetravis was more for against white decks. If they're playing Moat sideboard, because I'm not playing with like Disenchants or anything, so I have no way to remove that. The Shatters, the Relics are more for like mirror matches.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
The Reds, the Red Elemental Blast, Blue Elemental Blast, depending on, if you're playing control decks, you want to get the Red Elemental Blast in there, but then not trying to go too far off the game plan of just really trying to get damage in really, really quick.
The blasts are interesting consideration versus my deck. Like,
it's
really juicy to hit a Serendib with a red blast. Right?
Yeah, but I believe for these games we didn't do sideboard.
Just casual matches, no sideboarding here. So.
I feel like that's something, and that's just not myself included, but everyone I know. When it comes to sideboarding, what's the right move? But against your deck,
a lot of people would say that like the real skill is in the sideboarding and the sideboard matches.
Yeah, but and even after playing Magic all these years, I think it's still one of the things I struggle with a lot. And this deck does what it wants to do. It has factories, ices, copies.
Well, if anybody watched the last video, you just saw a Juggernaut, copy, trike.
Yeah, exactly. It's just trying to get threats as early as possible just to finish your opponent.
So in terms of the matchup, I think I like where I stand with the other deck. Like, I remember even us talking about it after the Reanimator match, and I said something along the lines of, like, Juggernaut's crazy until you face a Lightning Bolt deck, and then I pulled mine out to see, like, let's put that to the test. So I think just because of that weakness, you do give me a slight upper hand. That might not be true in general, but I think it is a factor.
It is a possibility, yeah, exactly. It is a possibility.
I think it does matter. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I am out for blood. You absolutely devastated me in the last matches. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know who's going first. Did we roll? I guess we rolled before.
Oh, yeah, we rolled prior to this.
I think. I don't know. Also, I wonder if I'm going to catch any flack from anybody for playing my lands in front. Seems to be a lot of people have such a weird like negative opinion. Like maybe like you don't like it, it's fine, but like they go so aggressive with the negativity towards the lands in front. It's just like can't even justify like why they can't. Yeah. They're just like
me shaking my fist, implying probably you're cheating.
Yeah, cheating with my dice rolls. My dice are definitely rigged.
Yes, they are.
So,
all right. Me waiting impatiently to play your cards.
Yeah. Think. Draw. Think. Oh yeah, I guess I mulliganed again.
Yeah, possibly. I think I kept my first opening hand for this match.
Yeah. Okay, we had a little bit of a reversal there.
Okay. So starting off strong with a bolt.
Yeah, bolt. So permanent plus a Wheel of Fortune / Time Twister effect is always good when you're on the play, right? Like,
yeah.
And on top of it, I got to bolt you, so like now we're basically starting the game all over again with you at 3 less life than me.
And you have a land drop.
I have a land drop, and it's still my turn, and we're playing with a format full of Moxen, right? So if I draw Black Lotuses again or Moxen, I can still do stuff, which is like it's really strong when you get to Wheel of Fortune or Time Twister on turn 1.
Yeah, I played. Funny enough, I played Laurence earlier this week, and. Yeah, I did something quite similar. Opening hand, land drop, Lotus, Time Twister.
Yeah. And then you just keep going.
Yeah. And you just keep going, and it's just, it's kind of devastating because the opponent can't mulligan.
Yeah. And what I like,
so I think I got kind of a little... I think I had a decent hand, and I believe I drew okay.
Yeah.
But it did knock me down a couple levels, so...
Well, I feel like the Shops deck doesn't need to rely on its... Like, the Shops deck can play without the mulligans, but when you need to mulligan, you need to mulligan. And Time Twistering, making you unable to do so, can be strong. Like, even though you can draw a good hand, you might be in a situation, one of those situations of, I need to mulligan this hand, but you just can't, because, the game had already started.
Yeah, so I copied the Pearl because I was low on mana sources.
Yeah, see, that's a really good thing for me. I'm really happy. When you don't do anything but copy a mana source, that makes me really happy. And then when you follow it up with the Juggernaut, and I'm playing the Burn matchup, it feels really good. So here I obviously, kind of have it all, too. Like I get
you had the Ancestral, you had the Lotus.
And then the Bolt for the Juggernaut. So I'm I'm doing my thing and answering your thing, and it's definitely feeling like a really good first game.
Exactly. I mean, right now you're in a pretty good position.
I do want to actually mention one quick thing that happened before that I got to stop doing. When I played the City of Brass on my previous turn, I moved the mountain, the volcanic island off to the left. That was a visual cue that I had something to do with the 2 mana on the right and a bolt on the left. So it's like little things that you do like that are subconscious that actually can give your opponent a lot of tells. Right? I should have just played the city and not touched my lands. Moving the volcanic is like, I got a bolt over here, and you're thinking, you're visually thinking instead of just doing it in your head. So
I tend to do that a lot too. I tend to mess around, but it's not for the same reasons. I just like putting, I tend to, I have the line with the Mox, and then I'll move the Moxen together, and then I kind of shift things around often.
Yeah.
So I think we all have our little, I don't know, you want to call them ticks maybe?
Just
our little...
wrong. It's wrong. At the end of the day, it's wrong. You're doing something not good. Okay, so in the meantime here, you've played a Juggernaut, and I didn't orb your Juggernaut in the same vein as the last matchup, but I think it's because I knew I had the Troll in my hand, which could block freely, right? I could block and regenerate.
You could block, regenerate, so you're...
Yeah, so that orb is going to be much more useful than to waste on a Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Especially also, too, because the bolts and the chains just deal with the Juggernaut, so it feels really bad to use your Chaos Orb on a card like Juggernaut when you're playing bolts and regeneratable creatures.
Yeah, exactly. Now... Had we done the sideboard game, I probably would have brought in the Abysses and stuff and so on, but... So...
Yeah, things change a crazy amount in the side. Okay, so here I think you bolt my dude just so I can tap him so you can get through for 5 damage, which is a reasonable play. It's a reasonable play.
I mean, I'm taking a chance here because you could have orbed in response, but I figured at least if I use the Chain Lightning,
I'm never orbiting
You'll
that.
get no, I know.
I'm never orbiting that Juggernaut unless you play a copy.
See, like now I'm taking a huge chance because I could be taking 4 to the face.
Well, that I have to orb, right? I'm pretty sure I definitely orb that. Like it's a blocker.
Yeah, so you
Like there's no clean trade like the Juggernaut with the troll. I can't bolt it, so that's 100%. And you take 4 damage, like that's 100%. I have a burn deck at the end of the day, so that's like 4 free damage for me. So maybe it was risky playing that card.
I probably should have waited till the next turn.
Yeah,
Play it, but
okay. A man who flies.
A man who flies
Can't be blocked. But Triskelion has a word or two to say.
might have a thing or two to say about that. Yeah. So
here I paid 2 for what? Demonic. What am I doing with that 2 mana that I tapped over there? The jet and the. Oh no, I attacked you for 2. Okay, I attacked you for 2, keeping the troll on defense.
yes.
Okay. And I probably have counter spells in my hand. Like I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're in a pretty good position.
Like it's not over yet. It's still pretty close, I'd say. Right? Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you just had killer opening hand.
Yeah. Like
Twister Lotus 3 damage and land drop.
And then Ancestral.
Turn 1, and then Ancestral
with an answer for your Juggernaut.
Yeah. So
seems good.
Shops is good, but it can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get, well, as they say in Vintage, you're gonna get vintaged, right? Like, I vintaged you this game.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
Say.
I may know a thing or two about that.
yeah. Mr. Paradoxical outcome over there.
We're talking about old school.
Yeah,
come on, focus.
Sorry. Surveil 2 and Paradoxical outcome. What is this? Fucking nonsense. Well, gotta beat the cat.
Let's see. Now, contemplating tapping. Playing Demonic Tutor. Now, I'm suspecting you're probably gonna counter it.
Okay, so
I think I demonicked, and I said you're gonna probably counter it anyways, but I gotta roll the dice.
I didn't counter. I don't think I countered it because the only thing that you could get that I can't counter is land, and I don't think I care about the lands that you're gonna play because I have the counters for the things that you're gonna play off of the lands. And if you strip me, it's like I don't really care what you strip because I've got a million lands to pay for regeneration. Even if you hit a blue source, I still have 2 blue sources for a counter spell, so I don't think I needed to counter the demonic there.
No, yeah. I really don't know what I countered demonic for. It's possible. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, it's just you have so much going for you. I just feel like
Yeah, you had slow, I was gonna say slow start, but maybe you just got smoked by the time twister.
Yeah. Well, let's see how this plays out. Or did I win this match?
No.
Did I?
Are you
sure?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Spoilers? No.
No?
Can't you wait a few minutes to find out there?
Asking.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on in this little pause here. There was a confusion. Oh yeah, I think this was the point where I was reading up on the regenerate thing just to make sure. I think I was reading up on regeneration just to make sure that like the damage actually does occur, because the way the regeneration is worded is tap it, remove the damage, and then take it out of combat.
Yeah.
So it's like, take it out of combat could be confused for like it's no longer in combat, so it didn't kill the thing because it's not in combat. But the most important thing is the second line that says remove the damage, which implies damage occurred, combat happened. So yes, when you regenerate, if I block your Juggernaut will die, and my troll will survive.
Yes, it still does the 3 damage. Yeah. So playing counter spell. The Chaos Sword.
Yeah, it's a Chaos Sword. I didn't like. But even then, I wonder why. Like, what could you orb? Oh, because I guess you orb the troll again, which even if I regenerate it, it taps, and then you get it for 5 more. So, oh yeah, Juggernaut has to attack. That's like the downside.
That's the downside of Juggernaut. It has to attack.
So that's why for sure I was.
That can be blocked by walls.
Yeah, that's true.
No?
Yeah.
Does anyone still play walls in
Well,
this format?
relevant in Alpha, right? Like when Alpha 40, we came to realize that some of those walls are pretty strong. Like Wall of Sword or whatever, 3/5 that blocks Sarah.
Oh yeah. I still have nightmares about that. Yeah, so going down to 5, just absolutely getting destroyed.
Yeah, I must be feeling real good here because like probably have. Oh, you bolted the factory.
Yeah, I bolted the factory, so I figured,
Oh, another man who flies. Only playing 2 in the deck, but there they are. Nice little painted altar on the flying man. It is from Time Spiral, not from Arabian Nights, and it is a homemade altar by an ex-girlfriend, but that's okay. The card still flies.
It still flies for 1. It still deals 1 damage. There we go.
No.
Yeah, that's nice. And screw it.
You had enough Triskelions last game, friend.
Come on! Hey, taking out the fun.
Yeah. So this is like one of those times where I'd probably make the joke like, win the game, gotta go. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got chips to buy.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Win one game,
Your
best
Rolodex
deck.
full of excuses of why you can't
Yeah.
play more Magic.
Yeah. Just win one game, best deck in the format. That's how it works. Doesn't matter how many times you lose yesterday. If you win one game today, best deck in the format.
Best deck in the format.
Yeah.
Who says that usually? Is it Carl?
Who says what?
If you win one game, best deck.
I said that.
That's you said
he,
okay.
he rips me a new one for saying that. Because he's all about like you need 1,000 million samples, otherwise it's not a true. If you don't have a sample size of like 100 bajillion, it doesn't count.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes Carl will probably have like Excel spreadsheets with like charts and graphs and
Which is
PowerPoints
not
of why this deck does better than that.
It's not a bad thing if you actually want to be a pro gamer, Gonna be a.
Yeah. But I don't have that much time to dedicate.
I dedicate that time to my spreadsheet with my inventory.
Yes, with your Magic
Keeping
inventory.
the inventory up to date so that I could find the random proxies. Alright, so we're going into the second game here, and that looks like a mulligan for me. So like I said in the last video, mulligan versus shops is always scary.
Yes.
Like, I'm already... You're already sweating just knowing you're playing against shops, and then when you have one less card.
So I'm keeping my hand. Yeah, taking a mulligan sometimes is just brutal. And then you take a second one, and you still don't have anything, you're like, oh. You just feel like, part of you dies inside.
Or sometimes you're looking at a 6 or a 5 where you're like, I could keep this, but I know I can do better. So you go to 4, and then you get no land.
Yeah.
Okay, I should have kept the last one. Alright, so...
So you started? Interesting.
Why did I start?
Because you like to cheat.
Well, you allowed it, so... And there's the bolt for the
there's the bolt.
Juggernaut again, and taking damage.
Whoa,
Yeah,
easy on the... easy on the... Pushing hard on those life counters,
there.
everybody.
But yeah, interesting to figure out why I started this game.
I just felt my deck was that good.
Oh, yeah.
I just said, you know what? I'll let you have
give me
it.
a crutch, yeah.
After the last... Like, you beat me, but not as bad as I beat you in the Reanimator, so I'll let him have it.
Okay.
Here you go, kid.
Yeah, thanks. That's so kind. Yeah, I'm not letting you have anything this game. Juggernaut gets bolted, Suchi counterspell. If you had the Wasteland strip mine instead of Factory, that would have been pretty devastating, right? You would have hit the... I don't know which land you would have hit. Maybe the C, probably.
Yeah.
Just to make me keep taking damage. I don't know. Wheel of Fortune, that's like a questionable, but I guess my hand was trash, so it's like, might as well.
Yeah. Had a Juggernaut, Icy...
Oh yeah, I think I remember the game. I think you were saying that you were not happy that I Wheel of Fortune there. I think you liked your hand quite a bit.
Yeah, because I had I had lock pieces, I had, of course. Yeah, you just really, really drew good these 2 games. So...
Skill's overrated. Luck is all that matters.
Luck is all that matters. Playing the Soul Ring.
Yeah, every time you tap your mana to play mana, I'm pretty happy, I think. Even though I know that it could mean a Triskelion the following turn or even that turn, I still am happier when you just are playing more mana sources than instead of doing stuff, obviously, right? Like, just gives me one extra turn.
Yeah, I really don't think I drew much. If I recall, I think it was well, no lands because I would have made a land drop. Or maybe not. Yeah, okay, so I didn't.
I mean, the factories are good lands to hit when I've got the... Well, maybe not, actually. Trolls are pretty good versus factory. And then all my other creatures are flying people, so...
Yeah. So again, playing a Juggernaut.
Does it eat another tasty streak of shit? I mean, lightning. What do you got? Coming in for swings. Interesting.
Yeah, so I pumped the factory for 3 damage. Because the other one just came into play, so I couldn't...
couldn't attack with it.
Couldn't attack with both.
What's this? A troll? Yeah.
Of course. Troll.
Troll to block the Such Magooch. No, that's not a Suchi. Again, that's a Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. It's alright.
Jeez.
You'll learn the cards eventually.
Yeah, one of these days.
One of these days, kid.
9 or 10 years isn't enough.
Because, you know...
Yeah, okay, counterspell? Yeah, counterspell. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to win these games, so...
See, like, I'm hoping you play the counterspell, because then you have to use your Lotus to regenerate your Troll, and I think you realize that.
Interesting.
Because...
But I can't...
Unless you use... Yeah.
I can't let that result.
You could.
No, I can't. Come on, past mark. You gotta counter this card. Okay, I used the Lotus. Yeah, I think that's okay. Like, I think it's correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
And especially if I have a thing to do with the mana. Look, I have a power sink in my hand, I think I saw, during the shuffle.
It doesn't really affect me too much.
Well, if you play a Trike here again, I'll get you swung instead. Yeah, so I take 1, good, I took it, and I block regenerate, good, and then you follow up with a second Trike.
I can't. You know I can. Possible.
Yes, you see on board you have 2 plus 1.
Yes, I can.
I wonder what you're thinking about.
Don't make me spank you again with my shops.
Yeah. Save that for after this video.
Alright. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Geez, no follow-up. Okay, so yeah, the wheel was pretty... Again, like, the draw 7s were not good to you, these games.
Yeah, I mean...
So I'm at 13, you're at 20.
But I mean, like, I'm still in a pretty decent position. It's just that you have probably always, like, if you always have, like, 1 or 2 counter spells ahead of, like, what I can draw.
Yeah, but
at the same time, you're not doing much right now with your...
And, like, your board is pretty set up for whatever you draw, right?
Yeah.
Unless you draw more lands.
Yeah.
Like, 3 workshops is... it's nice to own, but not something that you need right now, right? Oh, okay. So I didn't swing last turn, but I'm swinging this turn. I wonder if that means I just made a mistake on the previous turn, or if I drew a bolt this turn.
I think you drew a bolt, and I am pretty sure, like, that's my interpretation. Like, when you do that, and I have factories only.
Yeah. I mean, that could be an interesting consideration for mind games. If I don't have... Even if I didn't draw the bolt this turn, like, I don't attack the turn prior, knowing that if I attack the next turn, you'll think I drew the bolt, so you won't block then. You know, it's interesting.
So I kind of said, screw it. I kind of went in and you bolted one of my factories.
Yeah, which lets me still get the damage. Oh, you attacked me and I bolted. Okay. You're chain lightning me? Yeah, put me to 8, makes sense. At this point, you don't care about that troll. Yeah, put me to 5. Oh yeah, I remember this game. Yes. And I think you have no cards in hand now, and you just couldn't find the last bits of damage.
Maybe. Yeah.
Interesting. So I mean, this is a pretty interesting game.
Because, like, for example, if I had the icy that I discarded with the Wheel of Fortune, I could continue tapping your City of Brass.
Yeah.
Just giving you like almost a copper tablet every turn effect. Just.
How'd you play those bolts? Did you crack a Lotus?
Yes. Yeah, I had a Lotus and I cracked it.
How you went chain bolt?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, so you drew a card and couldn't do anything with it, which means it's probably red or blue. Or black. Well, no, blue. No, red. It has to be red. What else? Because everything else you're playing, right? There's nothing in your deck that you wouldn't play, right? Unless you couldn't play it.
Yeah, if I had it in my hands, I would have played it if I was able to.
So it must be a red card thing.
Might have been a red mana source. It could be that I didn't have another red mana source and I had a burn spell.
Mm-hmm.
But you had, I think, counter spells anyways to deal with it. So
okay, so I drew and said go.
interesting enough.
I drew
So I drew City of Brass. So
now you have your red source. So then it must not have been a red card, unless it is, and I counter it. Jeez, what could it possibly be that you're not playing it?
I don't know.
Okay, so it is a red card. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. I think I counted that already. I can't let you draw 7 when I'm at 2 life. I have a power sink. Yeah. So I could have won. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I don't really remember what happens, to be honest. So that factory has to get tapped, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the workshops, no?
I think it's if the line can produce mana.
I think we were talking about that. We might have been talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, geez, one life. So now my City of Brass is essentially out of the
But if
equation.
you do a power sink for an artifact, and then I think I could have used the workshops to pay for it.
No, because you're not paying, it doesn't make the artifact cost more, it's just an extra, you're paying for the power sink.
No, but I'm saying if you power synced an artifact spell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't give your artifact +3 cost. Like your card doesn't have if it was a Mox, it wouldn't change the 0 to a 3. It would just say when you play the Mox,
it costs X more.
No, it just says pay 3. Pay 3 or is countered. It doesn't say it costs.
Yeah, but then I can use the workshop to pay 3.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't give it doesn't give a mana cost to the card.
No, I know.
So that's what I'm saying. You're just paying an additional fee. You're not paying a mana cost.
Okay,
so you can't use the workshop.
All right, yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay, why'd I go to 2 life? Did we miss a math somewhere and I shouldn't have been at 1? No, I was at 11 and you did 9 damage. I go to 2. Unless I didn't have to power sync for all that.
Yeah, I think you realize you didn't have to power sync.
Interesting. Missed a bit of there. Oh yeah, no. I let the wheel. Yeah, okay, that's what happened. We talked about it after the game. Was that I countered the wheel, and then because we're playing casually, we actually said, "Wait, you allowed me to undo that decision," and I actually let the wheel resolve. That's what happened. The wheel actually resolved.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I was like, "Why is my Chain Lightning and Psyblast in the graveyard?" It's because I actually let the wheel resolve, like a freaking madman.
Demonic Tutor.
Jeez, I actually let that wheel resolve.
Yeah.
And then I let the Demonic Tutor resolve? I must have this can steel, made of steel. What? It's interesting.
Cojones, big cojones. Because I don't know if I would have done the same in your position. Just
yeah. I mean, it's kind of coming back. I think it worked out. Not to say that it makes it the right decision, right? But I think it worked. I think it worked out. We'll see. Oh, put you to 0. I win. Good stuff. Okay. Yeah, interesting. I wonder what you're contemplating again, because you have a fresh grip. You must have. Geez, that means you missed Triskelion times 3 or 4. You missed Lightning Bolt times 2. You missed Chain Lightning times 3. That's a lot of outs. And you're drawing 7 cards and you missed all. You missed them all. That's.
Yeah, I don't think I drew very well.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Sometimes it's just the way it.
Yeah. But the wheels are interesting. They belong restricted, but they can be iffy.
So now.
Just playing as much mana as I can to make sure that you can't prison me in any way, right? Like, am I counting? Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, you're doing this. I'm doing this with my finger. Like, I'm just like, if I don't end up doing whatever I'm counting, then I'm just giving you information that I've got some big spell coming.
Yeah, so you might twist my whole hand.
Okay. You did have 2. Okay, so you got that. Wait, why was your Oh yeah, because you wheeled with the city, and you didn't find another red source.
Yes.
Oh no, you played the city that turn actually.
Yeah, I played the city. Then I had.
So I just got lucky by hitting all the bolts out of your hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Yeah.
So I think my twist was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
It's nice to draw 7. It's also really hurts when you have to.
1, 2, and a red source, and a chain lightning. My God.
Yeah.
Like you really. So.
Even if you had like 2 counter spells, I could.
Okay. Sorry, just want to say it's making sense. The reason why I let the wheel resolve was because you did play the city that turn. You played the city that turn, so I was like, unless you specifically draw Mox Ruby, you cannot play any red spells on your turn.
Yeah.
So I was like, that gives me a whole turn. Let me draw 7 with him, since the rest of my hand isn't that impressive. I'll still be at 2 life, which means I can use a City of Brass at least 1 time to bolt something. And I think that was what it was. It's because you couldn't play another land. So I wasn't worried about you drawing a burn spell.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I wonder. I wish I could hear what we were talking about.
Yeah, this thing like these casual. We're just having a good time. Playing Magic.
Yeah.
There's no rush. There's no clock.
You're probably wondering, will the gods give me the Triskelion that
I'm not gonna lie. I felt discouraged.
Yeah. So
so I was like, at least I'll swing in.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though, right? Like letting the wheel resolve meant I can do exactly that. I could swing at you, and I could use my lightning bolt at least 1 time with the City of Brass. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to, and then I'm just dead. So interesting. Staying at 2 life was a critical decision. Okay, tack you down to 13.
So,
and then I'm just trying to get the motors running at 180 kilometers.
Yeah.
Library turned on top of it, so draw 4. Casual draw 4 for one, sort of. Play a factor. Yeah. Which is good because, and a troll too, geez, so, and a time walk, okay. So do you just concede to that?
Yeah, I think I concede.
But you shouldn't, right? Because you just, like, unless I'm putting you in dead, so you just conceded.
Yeah, exactly, there you go.
That's not road rage or anger management issues, that's peace and love. It looks like it's sped up, but really it's...
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so looks like fair is fair. You did what you wanted to do to me in the Reanimator matchup, and I got a chance to return the favor in this one.
Yeah.
Of course, like we always keep saying, the sideboard matches, sideboarding would change a lot, but I still think there's value in game 1. It lets you see how your deck runs as a core, and then you can make decisions moving forward, and also lets you see, in hindsight like this, what you did wrong, what you're afraid of, so that you can sideboard better, right? So I think it's okay to play best of ones here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a chance to really see your playstyle.
Yeah.
And just improve upon that, and then going forward, just becoming a better player. And winning tournaments, winning games, and but most importantly, just having fun doing so.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure those were really good games. I think like the animator games were very lopsided. I think, but those ones were good. Like there was back and forth, tight. Like being at 1 life, and it's like that. Anything can go wrong. So I hope everyone enjoyed, and there will be more.
Yeah. See you next time, folks.